Greetings, Camtasiacs. Today, we're going to learn one of the fundamentals of editing in Camtasia. We're going to learn how to scale our media. So the first thing we need to understand is Camtasia has some default built-in scaling capabilities when you add media to the timeline. So let's take a look at how this works. I'm going to go ahead and drag a piece of footage, an image right here, and I'm going to drag it right here. And the first thing to note is that this piece of footage, the scale of it is at 100%. And so you can see it doesn't fill the area of the screen up. It's at this size. Now, if I go in and I take another piece of footage and I drag it down in, let's see what happens to it. So you can see this footage now, it seems to fit, the top and bottom fit to the canvas dimensions. But if I look at the scaling properties, it's at 56.2%. What Camtasia is doing is if media is less than the size of the canvas, it will scale things to 100% automatically. And then if things are larger than the canvas, it will by default scale things down so that they fit in the canvas. Knowing that, let's start to take advantage of some of the built-in capabilities that Camtasia has. The easiest way and the most natural way to scale is to just come over here, and if you hover over one of the corners or midpoints, you can scale an object. And I'm not holding down any modifier keys. By default, Camtasia will lock the aspect ratio when you are dragging like this. If you want to break aspect ratio, then you're going to hold down the shift key and you're going to get over one of those corners and then you can squish. Most of the time we don't want to do that. So we're going to go ahead and undo that. The other way we can scale is we can come over and we can use the slider here and we can scale this way. We can also punch in a value here. So let's go ahead and punch in 100 again. Boom, and right back there. And then a final way that you can scale things is I'm going to click the aspect ratio lock here, and then I'm just going to go ahead and say, let's say 960. Boom. And it'll scale things like that. So those are the sort of basics of scaling. There are some shortcuts, though, that are very powerful that we want to teach you about. I've got this piece of content right here, and we've got it dead center in the middle of the canvas. If I go ahead and context click on it, you'll see I can come to scale, and then there is a scale to fit. And scale to fit will make it so that whatever the longest or widest margins here will fit to the canvas dimensions here. So in this case, we're fitting at the top and bottom. All right, so the other thing you can do is you can scale to fill. And so if we go ahead and scale to fill, it's going to make sure that no matter what, all of the canvas is filled by the piece of media that you have right there. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that guy. Let's just come over and take a look at this piece of footage right here. What we might want to do is we might actually want to use one of those scale to fit or fill, or sometimes, because Camtasia has applied that default scaling, we just want to get this back to its actual physical dimensions, its 100% size, and then we use that set to actual pixel dimensions. Again, if I go ahead in here and I go scale to fill, which is sometimes what you want to do, it's going to fill up the screen. All right, I hope you've enjoyed these tips. I'll see you next time.